Good morning, this is Rachel with Infused Meadows. I am making quick meals. This is something that my husband and I like. These come in handy on a very busy day because all you got to do is you take your jar that you've put everything into, and then with a few things that you need to add, you have dinner in about, we'll say 30 minutes. Okay, in the U.S. we have a lot of box meals. One in particular that is very popular is your hamburger helper line. So you have hamburger helper, cheeseburger helper, lasagna helper, tuna helper. Anyway, you get the point. There's a lot of them. All right, so I'm making something that's like that. Okay. All right, so to get to this, I could yammer for hours. I want to start with my garlic powder. 1 second, I forgot my onion. Okay, so we've got garlic powder, we've got black pepper, the brown gravy mix that I showed you how to make a couple of videos ago, the onion soup mix that I showed you how to use showed you how to make a couple of videos ago. I've got some dried onion, I've got some pasta. Now, if you're in the U.S., go grab yourself a bag of egg noodles. But for here, I found these little thin ones. It's, I think it'll work. So I usually use the macaroni noodles, but I'm out of those today. So I actually had these on the shelf, and I think that they'll work just fine. I also have some cayenne and some parsley. All right, so what I want to get going is to each one of these jars, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of my dried onions. Now, you can cut this back. My husband and I like onion. I'll tell you all that, I think, every video. Okay. I'm going to go in with my garlic powder. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder per jar, and I'm doing a heaping teaspoon. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Not a heaping. We are now going to add 2 teaspoons of parsley per jar. 1, 2, 1, 2. I like to add a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne, not heaping, to each jar. Okay, now we're going to go in with 2 tablespoons. Now, I'm doing slightly heaping, as you can tell. 2 tablespoons of our brown gravy mix per jar. Not too heaping. And then we want to add 2 tablespoons of that onion soup mix I showed you how to make. So yes, this is a lot of onion. If you don't want all the onion, feel free to eliminate the dried onion at the beginning. There we go. All right. I've made a mess. I'll clean it up. Okay, so to this, I'm going to add, when I do the macaroni noodle, I usually add about 3 cups of pasta. Now, like I said, I don't have that right now. So what I am going to add is these. And so I figure this right here is probably the equivalent of, about a 1/2 cup. It's 1 ounce per one of these. So I want about 6 ounces of pasta in my jar. And you're just going to put it on top. And then there you go. All done. So you can do like I have I have 3 more jars of these in my pantry, but because we've used these 2 within the past week and a half, I thought, no, 2 weeks, I think. I think one was a Saturday. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I always take 1 jar and I put my, how to make on here. So what you want to do is you're going to take yourself 500 grams or 1 pound of ground beef, and you want to fry that up in your skillet until it's done. Once it's done, I like to get mine to where it's almost done. So once it is almost done, if you're using one that has a lot of fat and it creates a lot of grease, then go ahead and drain that grease off. And then you want to add your contents of your jar. Now, sometimes I will actually take my pasta out and then just add my spice mix in so that I can toast that for about a minute. And then I add my, so we're going to get to the liquid. You want to add 5 cups of liquid to the pot that you've cooked everything, or that you've got your beef in. Otherwise, you're dirtying up more than one. So use a deep pan pot. We'll call it a pan pot. You're going to go in with 5 cups of liquid. Now, what I've been doing is 2 cups of beef broth with 3 cups of water, just to make sure that I have a nice beefy flavor, because this is, it's just a, like a quick beefy pasta dinner. So if you want, you don't have to add the extra beef. You can go in with just 5 cups of water if you want to. That's completely up to you. So slowly mix in your water, because if you remember this right here, you've got your flour in it. So it will thicken up, which is why sometimes I like to go in, I take my pasta out, and then I dump this into my beef and I mix that in so that that flour, it encases itself around the ground beef. And that way when I add my liquid, I don't have so many lumps and clumps going on. But you do it however you want. You can dump this whole thing into your pan and then add your liquid if you want, and just, make sure you stir it up really, really well. Anyway, so you're going to cook this until your pasta is done. It can take 5 minutes, or if you want to, like sometimes we use spiral noodles, if that's what I have in the house, that can take up to 20 minutes. So you cook it, as long as you need to for your pasta. Yeah, and that's about it. Now, next time I go to make us I do a cheeseburger version of this. And so whenever I need that, we actually, I think, still have a couple of jars of that. But when I need it, I will make one, and I'll do a video on that and show you how to make that one. Okay, so I hope you make this. I hope you like it. If not, love it. It's a quick, easy meal that you can do on a busy, busy day. And this way it's still homemade from scratch, and you can enjoy it. This will feed roughly 4 people, or if you're 2 people, it'll, feed you for 2 nights. So you just put this, whatever, if you have leftovers, put it in an airtight container, throw that in your refrigerator. It's good for 3 to 4 days. Okay, in the refrigerator, airtight container. All right. Like I said, hope you make it, hope you like it. And if not, then I hope you find the recipe that's out there for you. And as always, have yourself a very, very wonderful day.